Hey guys, um, it's Miranda, and for my final project, the title is Art and Its Cultural Differences. So I chose the topic art, and it's talked about in chapter 15 of the book. And this is my in my own words, art. The definition of art. Art is a display of a person's creative skill that produces a form of emotional response. It must be transformational and communicate something to the audience. And the two cultures I chose were my own culture, which is the American culture, and ancient Greek culture. My data collection, I did online website research. I went going, observing, and experiencing um, art, and I interviewed someone with an art degree or degree in art. Um, so, cultural norms of art in my culture. The American culture is my culture, and we have the options of basically any medium we could want. We aren't really limited to any type of material or medium that to use to create art. Um, Electronic art is very popular, so that is like um, digital art. I guess is would be the same, drawing on electronics and things like that. More than just that, or animation or something like that. And then films, photography, painting and sculpting, music, literature, and even food. These are all forms of or types of art. And then um, a lot of the art in American culture is used to either change opinions, instill values, tell a story, um, things like that. And then anyone can do it. It's not limited to anyone. And a lot of it's very modern um, and of current happenings. So, um, one of the art pieces I chose from American culture is films, specifically superhero films, because superheroes are very popular in American culture. Um, the first superhero film started or was released in around the 1940s. Um, these type of films offer a feeling of escape. They're very exciting and imaginative, which is the American culture loves those things. And then they can also a lot of these superheroes are in these films are very um, are like role models, and people look up to them. And I love films. I love and superhero films, and it's very popular in my own personal like my like little my family culture, I guess, or my own culture. Um, Second is the art of making coffee or coffee art and coffee art. There's a little bit of a difference. Very popular in the Pacific Northwest, especially Seattle. It offers a form of community and conversation and getting closer with another person or more than one person. Um, and the latte, and there's latte art, which is seen in the picture, can be seen in the picture. Um, it makes it more personal, um, which the American culture tends to like that, and you feel more connected to like the barista who created the art for you, and it feels more personal. And then I enjoy coffee, so it's very common in my immediate culture. And lastly, music. Hip hop and country are very popular in or both like came out of American culture, came from America. Um, Music basically embodies pop culture. It can be another form of escapism. Um, it also depicts social issues, values, norms, and the mentality of America. A lot of the music from America does that. And then I listen to music all the time, and it's constantly in my immediate culture. And then the cultural norms of art in ancient Greek culture. Their three most popular forms of art are architecture, sculptures, and pottery. They also have music and literature, um, and then a lot of their art emphasizes the importance and accomplishments of humans. Um, it's also shaped by the philosophy of the time, and then most of the time it was public and government sponsored. So one of the pieces of art is the terracotta amphora, which is this pottery. Um, and it is of a young man singing and playing the kithara. Not sure if I'm saying that right. Um, and it brings together many aspects of the Athenian culture, which is music and I believe some sort of political meaning, if I remember correctly. And then obviously the subject piece of this is music, which and playing the kithara, which is very popular in ancient Greek time and in that culture. And then secondly, the marble metope, not sure if I'm saying that right, from the Parthenon. This is of a human finding a centaur. I just don't know how to say that one very well. And the ancient Greeks liked to depict violence in their art, which was very popular in their culture. And so, yeah. And lastly, the Parthenon, which is a form of architecture. Um, it was built to honor the goddess Athena and is a huge symbol of ancient Greece and its culture, especially the columns. And there are many sculptures on it that depict many different scenes of like ancient stories of myths or things like that. Um, and the art piece from the previous slide is on the Parthenon, is a part of the Parthenon. And okay, so cross culture comparison, similarities. They both depict scenes and tell stories. Both are meant for the public most of the time. Obviously, there's some exceptions, but majority of the things are meant to be seen by the public. Both have painting, sculpting, literature, and music. And then this one I thought was interesting is both use it to tell about gods and or superheroes. Superheroes stories of superheroes stem from ancient Greek gods or just the ancient gods. So I thought that was really interesting how um, we still have aspects of the ancient Greek culture in our culture now, and those are like depicted through art, like films or comics. Um, and theirs was on their either their literature or their statues or the Parthenon. And then differences, the Greeks are limited in their resources, while my culture has access to basically any resource, medium, material. My culture is like a melting pot of cultures, so the art is like that too. So there's kind of aspects of all different cultures in American culture, while the Greek art is very specific to that area and time and that specific culture, and it's very, very Greek. The American or the Greeks did not have technology that my culture has, did not have the technology that my culture has now. Um, so obviously, like films, electronics, photography, those type of things. Um, and then the Greeks, I think the Greeks were more philosophical in their art. Um, Obviously, there is some art like that in America, but overall, I think their art was more grounded in their philosophical views or thoughts and things like that. And my discussion question is what is a type of art or an exact example of art that screams American culture? This was something I found kind of hard while I was trying to find like specific things of art, specific art of American culture. Um, so I'd be interested to know if anyone knows any more or um, any other, I ideas of like specific American art. And lastly is my uh, bibliography of all my resources. And yeah, that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for listening.